All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, 355 stories, 7 to 8, 10 minutes, foot pursuits, naked people, gross alerts, funny stuff. I mean, just go on and on. There was a taser to the testicles. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. I mean, you'll love them. They're really fun. They're all my babies. I did them all. Okay. Then attached to that is 135, all right? Questions and answers. And I want you to ask me a question. Please ask me questions, okay? Question to me at, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. I've been answering directly, and then I'll make up a list, and we can do it on tape, okay? All right. So, I left you with a key. We found a guy, we watched a guy steal luggage from the airport, your luggage, and go to Goodwill, and then take away clothes. That's a nice guy. And gave your clothes away, somebody's clothes away to the Goodwill, and then we caught him with the goods. Okay, so the detectives took over because we're the wind. We fade away. And I found out a few days later that they found the key. And this is how weird how things happen. There'll be another thing coming down the road here I'm going to tell you about things that happen that just, it's meant to be, okay? One detective on doing the search warrant at this guy's house, incidentally, he found like $1 million worth of equipment, of stuff, stolen stuff in this house that he got from his mother when she passed away. He found a key. And he said, look, he told me, I called him, he said, it looked different because it looked like a key. I don't do storage lockers. I guess you can rent a lock from a storage facility and have their own key, and then they have a key copy. You don't have to provide your own lock. I don't know why you would want to give your own lock. I get them in a storage facility. I don't want anybody getting anything except me. But people do that, try to save money, and maybe they include it in the deal. Who knows? He did look kind of funny. So he's looking. While they're doing the search, this guy had dealt with his. I guess he said his mother or his grandmother had a storage locker somewhere, and he had to do some legal thing to get it. He was involved in storage locker lawsuit with his grandmother. Anyway. So I started looking through all the receipts, and I asked the guy, of course, where's this go to? I don't know, fuck you, pardon my French. I don't know anything. Okay, fine. So he starts going through all the paperwork. He says, I'm going through this box, this box of just receipts. Going through it, trying to find something, looking for this and that. And what do I see? I see a storage facility contract. Pull it out, look at it. And on the contract, it had the key number, okay? Okay, that's not take. But see, if he got interested, if he had not been involved in his grandmother's lawsuit against a storage facility, if he had had interest in storage lockers, you would have seen this little lone key sitting in the box. I would have just thrown it away. I'm not, I'm looking for the big picture here. I'm not looking for small time stuff. So they got this thing. They went down to the local, really close, and of course they have to have a search warrant. So they just made a phone call, got a telephonic search warrant for this locker because they already got the guy stealing stuff. He's an ex-con. They got the $1 million property in his house, so a search warrant pretty much just write like a couple paragraphs and you're in. Doesn't take that much to write a search warrant. So they got a search warrant, hit the storage locker, and one entire huge locker. He said, turned out to be. It took them all night to inventory everything. It's a couple $1 million worth of equipment. Same thing, golf clubs, a lot of computers, a lot of stuff that no clothes though, no clothes. There's a lot of equipment, tripods. He said it was just like a store in there, and all kinds of boxes to package things. So I don't do eBay. I guess you have to, if you're going to mail something out, you have to package yourself, right? Yeah. So he had all that stuff going in there. So they got him. And then they told me that we might have to go to trial. And fine, let's go. No, he plea bargained out. He's an ex-con. He did not have a chance. I told my people here that I deal with that when you go, I worked undercover. When you go hand to hand with a man, they call it. In other words, you sell to an undercover narcotic officer. You'll never win it in court, okay? When you have an officer stand next to you and watch you steal something, you ain't gonna win it in court. My lady officer and the other officer are gonna stand there and say, they're gonna ask all the officers questions. How close were you? 2 feet. Okay, okay. So they don't even. So we found out they pled out. They pulled his parole. He got 25 years to life. He'll probably serve in California. He'll probably serve 6 months. But no, he'll serve about 20 years because he's an ex-con. If it was just a first-time offender, he might have served 4 or 5 years because he's a first-time offense. But he's an ex-con for this same thing. We got him dirty. He'll serve probably 18, 20 years for that. And that's good. We should be out of here. It's to save your property being taken. Okay. So this is what we were getting. So in the meantime, way back where I told you I took those 2 officers from the other squad. I had my assistant, who was a supervisor, take those guys about once a week and make sure they were studying to be a detective because they were policemen, because they needed to move on, especially the black officer because he got kind of hosed to stay in one spot. I didn't like that. It pissed me off. So I got him out of that environment, and so now we're pounding them to study and because we're sitting cars along all day long. It's a perfect place to study. I mean, you sit there and you only have to watch the house 1 hour, and then you get rotated out, and there's 10 of us, so pretty much if we have a 12-hour day, you only have to sit on the house 1 hour. Works out that way. The rest of the time, you're just sitting in your car. Well, what a nicer place to sit, better than a library. You're sitting in this car with air conditioner going and study. So they studied, and we made sure they studied. I gave them material, I found stuff, and ultimately both of them promoted, and then towards the end of my career there, they transferred out to detective positions, and they were very successful there. Both are working right now, so it's very good to see that. 2 people in the squad, because I was still teaching surveillance, I was bringing them in to learn this because I'm going out. They're coming in and I'm going out. So I think it's important to transfer these things to younger people so they can take advantage of the situation for whatever reason and also help their fellow officers, any officer, to do this. So 2 of them, the lady officer and her partner, well, both my people, took up the mantle, so to speak, and took off with it. And now I've been retired a long time, and they've been teaching. They each have a squad of their own. They're both top steps. They both teach it. They both do it. And now they even opened up their own company providing surveillance training for anybody that wants to hire them to do training. So very successful, and they're very proud about that. Couldn't happen to a couple of nicer people. And that's what you do. That's what you do. Now we're doing that in the meantime of doing these cases. Okay. I got to tell you another case, only because it involves one of my supervisors, and it was pretty cool. Another captain calls, because once the word gets out that our unit is handling these crimes, you got to remember now, professional burglars, okay, or luggage thieves, what do you call them, they don't only do it once. They don't have a job. Their job is crime. They do that so they can support their habit, or they can get money, buy a car, whatever. They don't have a job, so they steal constantly. And so you get a burglar out there that's in an area, and he starts getting very lucrative in taking stuff. You have a crime trend, and you can't stop it because we don't have enough officers to patrol areas now. It barely can handle radio calls for these people that need help to just drive around and look for bad guys. Well, we do have time. Okay, so we got a call from the San Bernardino Valley. They had some businesses were being broken into, and they wanted to see if we could do something about it. Now, my captain gave them a preemptive strike. He said, "We're going to need a lot of overtime for this. So if you can't provide the overtime, we're not going to provide the people." Well, he says, "I'll give you whatever you need." Okay, so we're out there. Cut the story short, and we're out of time. Commercial burglaries down an alley. It was a businesses. Guys follow these people. 2 guys from their house. Drive around one night, nothing. They all go out at 2 o'clock in the morning too, incidentally. Next night they go out at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had an alley, bunch of businesses. Went into the alley and never came out. Okay, so they're in there. So it's like 2 in the morning. So you can't really blend in at 2. If you're during the day with business, you can blend in as undercover officers, really nice. At 2 o'clock in the morning, everything's shut down. The only people out there are crooks. Okay, so 2 of my guys, one of my supervisors and another officer, get out because again, had this block-long alley. They went in, never came out. So they're walking down. They see the car parked, backed into a spot, and my assistant, who was a supervisor, kind of made a mistake. He told me this later. I'm waiting on the street. I'm looking for him. I'm trying to find him. Well, I turned the corner, and they had already broken into a business, and they were carrying out some what do you call it? Monitor screens, TVs, computer monitors. And they both stopped and looked at him. And he's pretty smart. He'd been on the job about 16 years, so he's a pretty smart guy, pretty sharp. He says, "I went to the drunk mode immediately." In fact, I found out this when I worked Vice, that the best defense when you think you might be compromised is an offense. And that's what he did, because he worked Vice also. He went into the drunk mode. He says, "Hey!" He told me this is what he did. We were all laughing at him after you. He goes, "Hey!" Now, can you imagine? Now, these guys are burglarized, and he's confronting them, my supervisor. "Hey!" And they go, "What?" And they go, "Hey, where's 18th Street?" And he starts drooling like he's drunk. And he opened up his collar, and they're looking like, "Oh, it's over there. Oh, thanks, man. Hey, how's it going?" Really loud and obnoxious. And we're looking like, "I don't know, we're just working here. Okay, see you later. Nice car." That kind of shit, right? He just kept, as soon as he turned the corner, "They're here, man. They're here right now." So by the time he got around to get on this radio, they were on the end of their thievery. So they got in the car. So I'm putting out a broadcast for the local police, and luckily the captain had one patrol car. He told them, "Stay in the area in case we need them." So I turned on the frequencies. What number it was? Says, "Need you right effing now." I'm swearing on the radio. I said, "They're coming out right now. I need you right now. Here's the plate and everything." Okay, we're right there. So they come out of that alley, man. They made a right turn. And I go, soft felony stop. In other words, you pull them over like a ticket, and you go like this. Come out of the car, sir. And you get your hand on your gun, and they come out. Then how's it going? And you cuff them. That way you don't have any pursuits, no fights, okay, all that good stuff. Okay. So I go, soft felony stop, soft felony stop. Okay, so meanwhile, 2 of my guys took off to secure the location, make sure nobody else got in there. They're there, so I got 8 guys with me. We're going down. Soft stop, soft stop. Okay. They don't know what the word soft stop means. Okay. Looked like a military operation with the Marines landing on Iwo Jima. Okay, there was like 8 cops with shotguns and a K9, and they get out of the car, they're screaming, and sirens are going, oh my God, I'm sitting there going, they're going to shoot somebody. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to kill somebody. Come on, and they're on the ground, and I don't want to get racial, but this was in this North San Fernando Valley. I've never seen white cops arrest white suspects, because all I've ever worked is minorities, blacks and Mexicans, and black officers and Mexican officers. This is all new to me. It's like, well, I must be in Idaho or something. This is really weird. So they're on the ground, everybody's prone down, and of course the supervisor pulls in. He's been briefed already that we're in the area, and he goes, what are you guys? And I go, you guys are, yeah, we're there, we got it. Oh, you got, what do you got? So we sent some units with Sergeant, we go over with my supervisor, that he saw them here, and we found another. You go down the alley to the next block, and then over the alley to the next one. They found another broken into. They've broken into one, and then we caught them when they broke into the second one. The whole car was full of equipment, office equipment, computers and all kinds of stuff, laptops and what's that, the hard drive, the little accessory hard drive you buy, half a dozen of those. I mean, just basically ripped out all the electronic equipment. That captain called me at 5 in the morning, and he was beside himself. Okay, he was all, oh my gosh, get accommodation. I said, well, we just want to make sure that we're in the wind. He goes, oh, absolutely, I got my detectives rolling. I mean, as soon as I found out what happened, their detectives had woken up out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. They were already briefed anyway that we were out there. And here they come, sleepy-eyed, and suits, shirts all askew. They just threw their clothes on, because I'm sure the captain called them and was screaming at them, get your ass out there, these guys are there, So they caught these guys, side note here, but it's pretty cool. So we were doing that, aside from following. Now we find out that following the Mideastern guys was kind of boring, because now we're actually back doing police work, which is really fun and enjoyable and very satisfying. That we're popping these guys that are stealing stuff from you guys, from your houses, your cars, and businesses. Pretty cool. And those guys, they're both ex-cons, corps, and I never found out what happened on their corps, because I know they were ex-cons, and because they gave us the rap sheets when we were assigned to them, so we had their addresses and the car and all that stuff, so we knew pretty much all about them. But once they get arrested, then it's out of our hands. The district attorney and the detectives will take care of that. We just basically, about 6 in the morning, the captain shows up, shook all my guys. He wanted to meet all my guys, shook all their hands. My supervisor told him that he played the drunk trick, and he had a good laugh about that. Said that's pretty good, And he goes, "What's your name?" Okay. And that guy now is going to be a captain. My guy that did the drunk scene, he's a lieutenant now, and he's going to be a captain. So, very sharp guy, very good guy. But he went right into the drunk mode. That's what I would have done. You didn't sit there and go, "Oh no, man, you got it, showtime." So that was pretty good. Shook all our hands. We found out it's like 6:30 in the morning. Sun's coming up. We found a Denny's or something. We all went in there. We were too hyped up to eat, to go to sleep or anything. We just all had breakfast. And I bought the breakfast for everybody. It's not a big deal. And just to thank everyone. And then I called my lieutenant and said, oh, by the way, today, now, we're going to spend our day, because we've been all night, we're going to spend our day sleeping. Okay? So you need his calls, but we're assigned a home now because my guys are too tired to go back to work. Technically, we should be back to work, but nope, ain't going to happen. I didn't ask him. I told him. And so he said, oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, fine. So he was good with that, and that was a good deal. So I have to go now. Time's running out, but I'll tell you right now, the next segment is a good one. I ramble on. It's going to be the end of an AHO lieutenant through my captain that I played golf with. I used my I don't know what you call that, a debt, I guess, or a markers. I pulled in my markers. There we go. And all things are going to end right here for this AHO lieutenant. It's very interesting how I implemented him leaving. Yeah, things happen. Things go around, come around. Anyway, so we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed them. Bye-bye.